I know.
Supposed to get down to 16.
This time I'd like to call the Warrick County Commissioners meeting to order, please. Please stand up and recite the pledge with us. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First up, we have APC business, so I'll turn it over to Molly.
Our first item is a request for the extension of surety. It's a commercial entrance oh, I'm sorry. I didn't turn my mic on. Okay. First item is C-20-023, Macon Corporation by Danny Ubler, owner. We're holding $2,744.50 for commercial entrance construction. It is in escrow. We've had 2 years, and they're requesting 1 year at the same dollar amount. Their surety expires September 21st of 23. The county engineer has signed off that the dollar amount would be sufficient.
What's this for, Bobby? Where at?
It's his driveway on, is it the corner of near Anderson and Van?
Yeah, it's in the Warrick Research and Industrial Center.
Bobby, you're okay with it?
Yeah, the dollar amount's sufficient.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item is a request to rezone PCR 2307. Petitioner and owner is Do It Right Investments LLC by Kevin Sinsmere, who is the owner. It's to rezone 1.6 acres on the west side of Stacer Road, approximately 200 feet south of the intersection formed by State Road 662 and Stacer Road, from R1A, one family dwelling zoning, to C4, general commercial zoning district, Ohio Township 32, 6, and 9, with the complete legal on file. This was advertised in the Standard on June 29th of 23. And at the Planning Commission meeting, Richard Reed made a positive recommendation, and it was seconded and carried with one opposed.
Please state your name.
Kevin Sinsmeyer with Do It Right Investments, LLP.
Okay. Any questions, Dan?
Kevin, what are you doing? What can you say what you're doing there? Or?
Currently, I own the other 2 lots on each side of it. They're already zone C4. I finally purchased the center lot. We're talking to some gas stations about buying it, but at the moment, I don't know yet. I've got a realtor working on it.
Okay. So you have the other 2 things.
You have the other 2 lots on each side, on the north side and south side are already zone C4.
Okay.
So it finishes up the 3.5 acres there altogether.
You good?
I'm good.
I make a motion. That's it.
I said I was in the APC meeting.
Okay. I make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
I'm sorry. 16. Thank you.
We have a street acceptance, Magnolia Place by Chris Combs, owner, Nolia Lane at 1,501 lineal feet. We're holding $22,500 in escrow. They've had 6.5 years. Surety expires August 26th of this year. This was continued from the July 24th Commissioners meeting. I do have a signature on the street acceptance from the county engineer. And I also have a signature from the county surveyor that the drainage has been complete.
Anything to add, Bobby?
No, I just wanted to make sure the drainage was complete, and so Phil has signed off on that. So
Mhm.
they've taken care of all the other issues that
All
I
the
had
other-
on my punch list.
They did?
Everything street related was taken care of.
Okay. All right, good deal.
Okay.
All right. I guess I make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have two primary plots on the agenda. First one, PP 2310, Cypress Lake Estates. Number 2, petitioner owners Robert Allen and Jana Darlene Ulrey. Approximately 2.34 acres on the east side of Magnolia Drive, about 1250 feet south of the intersection of Firstal and Magnolia Drive. It's Lot 1 in the corrected plat of Cypress Lake Estates, and Lot 38, Cypress Acres, Number 3, Section A. This was filed in the Office of the Warrick County Recorder, Ohio Township 1, 7, and 9, and they are requesting no improvements to Magnolia Drive. This has been signed off on as well.
Mr. Howard?
Recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Last one is PP 2311, Eleanor Subdivision. Petitioner owner is Brett and Christine Woolsey. Approximately 40.08 acres located on the south side of Millersburg Road, 2,500 feet west of the intersection of Millersburg and Squaw Creek Road, being lots 1 and 2 in H&L Farms Minor Number 4. Boone Township, 19.5 and 8, and they are also requesting no improvements to Millersburg Road.
Mr. Howard?
Again, recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
There you go, sir.
Thank you.
And that is all we have.
Thank you, Molly.
Molly.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the action agenda, approval of minutes for July 31st,
That needs to be
2023.
corrected, sir. Our last meeting was July 24th.
July 24th, 2023.
Make a motion to approval of the minutes for the July 24th, 2023 regular session.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have county administrator with the consent agenda.
Thank you, sir. On the consent agenda tonight, we have the county auditor claims voucher, report date 8/9/2023, the payroll voucher of 8/11/2023, the Keller Schrader production host refresh for the sheriff's department, the treasurer's monthly report for the month of July 2023, the Boonville Square Flare Courthouse lawn use approval, the Code Red contract termination, the Baker Tilly Go Bond engagement letter, and the replacement of the generator for the X-ray machine at the Judicial Center by Point Security Incorporated.
You have any questions on the consent agenda?
No, that replacement of the generator, that's been done.
Yes, that's
Correct.
completed.
Yeah, it's been done. Hang on here, I'm just for, Heather, do you have the date of the square flare for Boonville?
I don't off the top of my head, sorry. It is in October, but I'm not sure exactly the date.
Can you get that and share that with Brad? He needs to know that for fall maintenance.
Got it.
I think I'm good, Bob.
Did you get your answers on Code Red?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is that it, Heather?
That's all I had. Thank you, sir.
County attorney.
Thank you. Appreciate it. The first item on the agenda is a public hearing for the lease agreement with the Warrick County, Indiana Building Corporation. So in order to do that, you'll have to do a motion to suspend your public meeting and enter into a public hearing.
I make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
I
And just
No,
need to know if anybody's got it here to speak for or against this
Is there
action.
anyone here that would like to speak for or against the hearing or the lease agreement with Warrick County with the Indiana Building Corporation? Don't see any.
So, seeing none, you can move to close your public hearing and re-enter your public meeting.
Make a motion to close the public hearing and reopen our public meeting.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is consideration of the resolution, which would be 2023-04, which is a resolution approving the execution of the lease. And Brad Bingham with Barnes and Thornburg Bond Counsel is here to present that to you.
Good afternoon, Brad
Hello,
Bingham,
Brad.
Barnes and Thornburg. Andrew, do you want to? Okay, so resolution 2023-04, I wanted to make just a few comments on the contents of that resolution, then let you ask any questions you may have. As Andrew mentioned, the purpose of today's meeting is to hold a public hearing on the proposed lease with the building corporation, which you've done. That is required by law before the lease can be executed. So this resolution does a couple of things. So first of all, it does make a determination that the lease is necessary and wise, and that the lease rentals provided in the lease are fair and reasonable. It authorizes the publication of a notice of lease execution once the lease has been signed. In addition, it authorizes the building corporation to go out and issue one or more series of its its lease rental revenue bonds in an aggregate amount not to exceed $65 million. Those bonds would not be issued until bids for the project have come in and it's within budget and the costs are agreed to. Pending the issuance of the bonds, it also authorizes the building corporation to issue one or more series of bond anticipation notes. And that purpose of that is to provide interim financing before bonds are actually issued to cover large ticket items to the extent necessary. It also makes a determination that once the bonds and all indebtedness are retired, that the county will accept the project and the premises back from the building corporation. That's a requirement under IRS code, IRS laws to make sure that the bonds can be issued on a tax-exempt basis. So this determination is basically saying you agree to take the property back once you've paid off the indebtedness. And in fact, the lease itself, there's language in there that says the building corporation has to convey it back to the county once all bonds are paid off. The last item I just want to mention here is that this resolution does also authorize the county to transfer the existing jail premises to the building corporation in connection with the issuance of the bonds. And that has to be done at a sale price not less than the average of the two appraisals for that property. The reason we're doing that is because you can't begin to make lease rental payments until the new project's completed. And in order to make any lease rental payment, you have to have an existing asset. We're trying to avoid capitalized interest on the bonds, and that's the mechanism we use to do so. Once the new project's substantially complete, the existing jail drops out of the lease premises under the lease and is free and clear at that point. So with that, I'll pause to answer any questions you may have.
I have a question of, will these be tax exempt bonds or?
They will. Yeah, that's the intent. And again, the resolution, and so the building corporation met on Friday, Dan, and they adopted their own bond resolution. We kind of take a kitchen sink approach to give flexibility, but so we authorize the issuance of tax exempt or taxable bonds. These will almost certainly be tax exempt, but sometimes there's a need to allow for a taxable series if there's some use that's not really permitted to be on a tax exempt basis, or there's some I've seen some projects where there's going to be some private business use we have to carve off and finance that piece on a taxable basis. But I've not seen that here. I think what the assumption at this point is everything would be tax exempt.
I have no questions.
Once, if this is approved and the lease is signed, then the next step would be in the Thursday's edition of the Standard, a notice to the public is going to be included in that and initiates a 30-day objection period for the public. Assuming no objections are noted, then we would move forward with that lease.
Okay.
Need a motion to approve.
Yes.
Bob, do you have any,
Resolution 04.
do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Andrew, anything else that we need to know about this?
No, this would be the last legal step in order for the building corporation to acquire the property for the jail, for the new sheriff's office and jail facility, and move forward with that closing.
And right now, the due diligence is being done on the property right now.
Correct. We received a favorable verbal report of the geotech study. Survey is being completed. Phase 1 was completed. The recommendation of that is to do a phase 2 based on some of the findings. So we will discuss that, but that takes a few samples of, there's some old pits by the railroad track. Unsure what those might be. And there's also some questions as to the dumping of materials currently being done on the property by the current owner. So we want to evaluate, just make sure nothing hazardous is being dumped.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2023-04.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Items C and D on the agenda, we're actually, if you are okay with it, we're going to push to next meeting. We have a few items left on the dedication of right-of-way on Anderson Road that Ms. Tinbarge is still confirming, so that we push that to the 28th meeting on the 28th.
So do you need a motion to table C and D till the 28th?
Yes, please.
Make a motion to table items C and D to August 28th meeting.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Last item on the agenda is an engagement letter with Barnes and Thornburg for the GO, for the general obligation bond that was referenced earlier with Baker Tilly. This is the general obligation bond that would be utilized for highway garage and any other facilities for the just continuing update to infrastructure of the county. Since the bond for this courthouse renovation is rolling off at the end of the year, this general obligation bond would then continue that obligation so that the continued projects can be funded without increase of taxes. And Barnes and Thornburg would serve as bond counsel, similar to what they are doing for the sheriff's office bond that we are currently involved in. This is almost identical to the other engagement letter that was entered into with the other bond.
So Andrew, you've gone all through this. This is all in order, obviously.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson, do you see anything? Questions?
Not yet.
I just see something here that says 600 attorneys and 600 lawyers.
Sounds expensive.
That's a lot. All right. I know where Brad lives. I make a motion to approve the Barnes and Thornburg GO bond engagement letter.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I don't have anything else on the agenda. There was only one other item that kind of went across our desk last week, dealing with some playground equipment being potentially surplus. I don't know if that is ready for this week or not, but we did draft indemnity and a hold harmless agreement for whoever purchases that playground equipment at Commissioner Phillippe's request. So,
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Next up, we have economic development.
Steve Raleigh, Economic Development. I just have two things. I think they're pretty standard. Some agreements to use our GIS layers and also the Eagle View imagery that the county has to aid a redevelopment commission project. And it's giving limited access, in this case to Morley, to use that so we don't have to repay them to redraw layers and do all of that work. It's something the county's done before for other third parties, allowing that access.
And Steve, is there a timeline on that? Then after they're done with it, does that go away?
Correct.
Or
They can only use it for the purpose
For
that
the purpose
is under
of-
that agreement and limited in use.
Okay, so do we need to, a motion for each one of these, or can we wrap these up in one motion?
you can do one motion, and I'm sure that Economic Development Council's reviewed these.
Yep.
But if you wanted to pass it just after, based on our review as well, you can do that.
I make a motion to approve the economic development's request for the request of use for Morley and Morley's Eagle View of the GIS and Eagle View agreements with our legal counsel's review.
Well, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Steve.
Anything else for me to discuss?
Haven't it, Steve? How's your vehicle coming? Is it not? No? No, sure. No. Nice.
Well, he pointed at the sheriff, so maybe he's got something he can help him out with.
Sheriff's been helping us too. We're working on it.
Okay. I hadn't heard anything, so, okay.
Good.
Anything else? Good. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Wow.